In the ash, Godchild howls in his fist, and in his head, someone is screaming a language he does not understand, right in his ears. It is his own voice. Of course, it's his own voice, magnified inside his helmet, but the shouting does not stop when he becomes aware he's doing it. A blood angel comes for him, but slow, too slow. Kargos sees the sword descending, sees where it will be, and he cuts back, taking the angel's hand off at the wrist. On the backswing, he hammers the angel to the ground with the flat of Godchild's blade. The clang is loud enough to split the heavens. Rabbit froth spatters the inside of his helmet as he screams and prays, and he pulls himself up the side of an enemy tank, his muscles clenching in the epilogue of a laughing jag. The last breaths of laughter wheeze from his throat. He's up on the Land Raider's roof, moving, always moving. A bolt clips him, detonating against his pauldron. He rocks with it, still moving. The soldier in the cupola is human, too human to stop him. She raises a pistol and Kargos stamps down as her hand comes up. Every bone in the woman's hand and forearm crunches, crushed to paste. Just more filth on the bottom of his boot. And Godchild swings, and the teeth carve, and the soldier is split from the helmet down. And he is carving, bathed in sparks, his axe's teeth shrieking through the hull of the stalled chimera. Then he's in, and it stinks of blood and marrow and misery, and he sees Imperial army on stretchers. The wounded are here, they can barely fight back, but it doesn't matter. They bleed like everyone bleeds, and he swings and chops and carves. And the relief of it, the sweetness of the rhythm of Godchild rising and falling and rising and falling, and the perfume of the blood and the song of the screaming. There's no pain now. He could cry with relief because there's no pain, but now they are all dead in here, and the nails bite again, and he is with Enzar, side by side, the way he used to be side by side with Khan in battle, the way he used to be side by side with Skane in training, the way he used to be side by side with the flesh Terra in the fighting pits. The preacher fights loud, swinging his crozier mace and exhorting the warriors around him to fight on, proclaiming that the gods are watching, that this bloodshed is holy. Kargos does not know if it's true. He does not care. He cares only that the nails flood him with relief at the terminus of every axe swing, every bite into ceramite, every crunch into flesh, every grind through human meat. There's blood on his armor. He is red with it now. Blood for Angron, blood for victory, blood for Enzar's god of war, if that's what it takes to feel this relief. Enzar is here with him, killing at his side, chanting prayers, and each swing of his crozier hits ceramite with the sound of a cathedral bell. It's thunder, a devotional thunder. It rings in Kargos' ears, stinging the nails with the same cold relief as the running of blood, and he crashes to the earth, snarling in the dust as the white scar rides by. He's down in the dust, in the thick of it. Godchild is on the ground, out of reach, except it is not, because one jerk of his arm whips the chain back, and the axe leaps to his hand, and he grips the axe and rises to his feet again. The white scar is gone. Kargos turns and looks for enemies in the dust, and there is another white scar. This one's out of the saddle and grappling with a world eater, and 3 heartbeats later it's over, because Kargos swings underarm, the blade carving up between the warrior's legs, and the axe teeth chewing and chewing with an arc of blood and sparks. And there are screams, and he can hear the others over the vox. He can just about make out their meaning. They are outnumbered. The convoy is being reinforced. They need to fall back, but he can't. He just can't. The fight is joined, and there's no falling back, no running away. The nails will split his skull apart if he tries. They'll change the chemicals in his head to acid and tar. He turns in the dust, staggering, stumbling over the last blood angel he killed, and the nails steam in his skull like molten pistons. There within the warring shadows, there in the ashen silhouettes, he sees an officer holding back and giving commands. Kargos moves in a staggering run as his muscles burn, and Gorechild sings its soul blade song. He passes Enza beating a downed Imperial fist to death, and he passes Drelith, tearing his sword free from the guts of another blood angel. But he passes too many others dueling and being hacked down and being strangled, and the voices were right. They are losing. The convoy's defenders are overwhelming them, but he doesn't care. He wants this officer's skull. He wants the rush. He wants the blood-wet relief that comes with glory. He kills his way closer, axe hacking with a searing lactic acid burn in his muscles. And Gorechild is a prince of blades, killing and rending and chopping so much easier than any other chain weapon he's ever held. Mica Dragon's teeth rev in its blade. That's how it ribs through armor and meat so well. Kargos cuts sideways, cleaving a blood angel down to the backbone, kicking the dying warrior away, and he's roaring a challenge at the officer, though it's a wordless thing because his mouth won't form words right now. But it does not matter. It does not matter. It's a challenge that needs no language, only rage. He reaches the officer, and the nails sing. The gut instinct of a lifelong brawler has him know the chain sword in the blood angel's hand and the flensing knife in the other, and it's familiar. It's so familiar that it hurts, but it does not matter. All that matters is the kill. Kargos cuts downward, and there's a clash as he's blocked, and chain teeth fly from the blood angel's sword, and he cuts again, and again he's blocked, and he's grunting with effort, and he pulls back for more room to take a wilder swing, and the blood angel weaves aside, and Kargos screams as he cuts empty air. They come together again, blade to blade, face blade to face blade, and again it's all so familiar, but there's no real link, there's no connection, there's only frustrated rage. Both warriors are panting, respiration coming in ragged swords through their helmets' vocalizers. Their blades are locked, axe on sword, sword against axe, and the two of them strain against one another. They are statues, motionless with a perfect equilibrium of rage and strength, and the first to disengage will invite the death blow. Genetically enhanced sinew strains in harmony with the fiber bundle cabling of their armor's false muscles, and they are still locked, still deadlocked. In that moment, either one of them could push through a stone wall, yet neither can shove the other back. He feels the contest as a full body strain, every cell of his being leaning into the locked blades, and he knows the blood angel is doing the same because he feels that too. You have Khan's axe. The blood angel breathes into his faceplate. Did you blunder his corpse once the Black Knight was done with him? Kargos does not reply because the nails steal his words and force adrenaline into his mind in place of language. What he knows though is a voice, familiar enough to drill through the nails as they vice around his mind. He knows the voice without knowing why he knows it, but it weakens him. That familiarity, it weakens him and it weakens the nails. It steals the red raw clarity his precious implants provide, replacing rage with confusion, with doubt, with a creeping unease that the muscles interpret as weakness. Kargos feels himself slipping. He skids back a few centimeters on the dusty ground, and then a few more. The nails aren't biting so hard now. In place of their pathological flood, Kargos feels the lactic burn of aching flesh. He stares into the blood angel's eye lenses, and he feels mortal. Absolutely, dangerously mortal. This is it, Kargos thinks. This is it. This is how his foes must have felt in the fighting bits. This is what it was, to know you might lose. He could die here. The jaws of the preacher's promised hell are right here, opening beneath him. Someone crashes into him from behind, and another warrior jostles into him from the side. And it's not just a duel. He remembers that. He knows it. It's a battle. They're still in the thick of the fighting. Both of them have to keep aware of other combatants. He wants to call for Enza, to summon the preacher for aid. Pride prevents him, but that pride is eroding fast, eaten up by something that tastes a little too much like fear. He feels it then. He knew it was coming, and here it is. The crux moment where the clinch has to break. Kargos moves with all the speed granted by transhuman genetics and the technological miracles of Astartes' warplate. He disengaged with a roar and moves back, and the Blood Angel is still on him, moving faster, giving him no room. Kargos grunts with the impact as the Blood Angel headbutts him between their joined blades. A crunch, a crash, a tolling clang of ceramite. But it's fine, it's fine. It's only Bane. He just needs space. He just needs room to swing Godchild, and then he can finish this. He can. Except that's when his eyes catch his fire because the headbutt shattered his helmet's lens, and he realizes as he tries to blink that the plastic shards have been driven into his eye socket, and he's half blind now. And too slow, Bloodspitter. The Blood Angel growls in Nargakali, the mongrel tongue of the 12th Legion. Too slow. And he knows then, he knows. The Blood Angel's war's prize of the last of the nails bite, and Kargos knows who he's fighting. He knows the faceplate, he knows the armor, he sees the name on the Blood Angel's shoulder guard, the name written in dusty gold, the name of the man he was chained to 100 times as they fought together in the arena, the name shouted in the Conqueror's pits, and he knows the mockery in the Blood Angel's voice, because it was the same mockery the Blood Angel would use to goad their foes, and the two of them face each other for the first time. And everything slows down. The nails are silent in Kargos' mind, and so is the war all around him. Amit, he says. My brother. And Amit, the flesh Terra, his arena partner for years, his own chained brother, spits on his broken face and cuts his throat. Eat shit, traitor. Alright guys, hopefully you enjoyed this. If you did, hit that like button and support the channel by leaving a comment for the algorithm, and don't forget to subscribe to stay tuned for more of Warhammer 40,000 lore.